reforms, and we have invited, as a part of the briefing, the Minister of Education, Mr. Kvit. We have lots of news in the reform of education and detailed changes related to dissertations, and with more hours for languages, and on the level of the agency, probably more. There will be a discussion about a new law on education, which will include more strategic goals in Ukrainian education. So that's why he will inform us about priorities of reforms in education. Good afternoon. The most important message is the main reason for the meeting is a new order on publishing dissertations and official opponents in the context of implementation of the new law on higher education. It's about fight against plagiat and or fight for academic honesty. That's a big problem in the post-Soviet countries, because stealing other thoughts somehow it is not considered anything bad, though this is nonsense. And what's the main point, sense of this document according to this order? In electronic form, accessibility through internet of dissertations and comments of official opponents through website of universities should be not less than 10 days before they stand public, go to the public test of their dissertations, and on 3 months since the day when date of issuing a diploma. Those 3 materials should be on internet accessible. It's very important, because it's not secret that a lot of dissertations they use plagiat, so they steal somebody's thoughts, opinions, information, and which is provided without reference. So it's very important to have access to it through internet, because anyone at any time, and people who are professionals in that fields, where the dissertations what are the following steps? It's an important order which outlines a very important context. What will we do? We have Ukrainian Institute of Scientific and Technical Information has 130,000 textual dissertations. That's a big base. Partially since 1996 they are on paper. And after 1996, those are dissertations that are in digital form. And how we can provide an access to this text? If you write a dissertation on a certain topic, so this you consider, it requires, for example, to read concrete text of dissertations or several dissertations. You come with an order from your university, and they give you that concrete dissertation, and you can copy some pages for money, etc. Now, we believe that scientific institutions and universities, and so they should make they should give some funds to Ukraine, but then there should be free access to academic people for them to put those texts of dissertations. We have some discussions about software, because in the West there are different applications, but they know what kind of applications they use to find plagiat, and those applications are mostly for Latin ABC. We can use those programs, and we have several applications, and we don't know which one is more popular. That can be used for Cyrillics for us to find plagiat, and we thought that would be better to have one official program for the ministry to order that application, or for us to confirm that application is the best. Then we decided not to do it, because there's an element of correction, because it's important not just to use an anti-plagiat application, but the most important to find plagiat in scientific works like monographies, text articles, and dissertations. So that's why applications could be different. and more there will be proposals for us to be used good quality anti-plagiat applications. It's not only about protection or copyright, though we have our statistics in the Ministry of Education and Sciences on copyright. Our test college of the Ministry of our Ministry found 20 works in which it is confirmed more or less, because there is a procedure of confirmation where they found a plagiat, and 20 works. We cancelled scientific degrees to 3 people. Those works they stood with, they published. It means that university institute they appealed to our college that in such a work there is a plagiat, and then we take that work, we send it to a scientific institution, and then they present their conclusions whether there is plagiat or not. If yes, to which extent. And one of those people, one person who has a plagiat, and there was 185 pages of not their own text. And we were joking, if it was only 120, that would be fine, but 185, that's too much. So that's in that style of the meetings we have, and those who are not happy, and they can go to the court, and they have, you see that they are so stubborn that they go to the court, and in our courts are absurd, and if they make such decisions, and then we'll name public, we'll make it public names of those judges who cover plagiat, and they should consider it a threat. We cancelled a decision of specialized councils on 6 people, and sometimes such special councils are closed. We make a decision to cancel such councils. Some plagiarism is found, and now under assessment there are 11 dissertations. In general, we have 20 of them, and there's a suspicion about in plagiat. It's not the task of the ministry or the college of the ministry to punish for plagiat, because we need to give that work to academic institutions and or universities. And I would like, in this context, to mention research, academic culture of the students, main reasons for formation and development that was organized by the International Renaissance Organization, the Kharkiv National University Garrison, and Social Fund of the Fund of Social Research, and you can find it in the internet. According to this study, more than 90% of students, Ukrainian students, use plagiat, and more or less. It's about diplomas, about different publications, and they are trying to sell as scientific works. It's not considered anything bad, and that's the horrible thing. So what we need to do, we need to educate intolerance to plagiat. And unfortunately, academic community is very tolerant to plagiat, and quite tolerant than to other forms of academic cheating. And there are 2 articles which mention plagiat, Article 16 and Article 32. And one article provides creation of every university and a tool of internal quality support and efficiency system to prevent plagiat in scientific works. And other Article 32, it says that we need to take adequate measures, including new technologies, including special applications. What is it about? And the fight against the plagiat comes down to academic institutions, and every university must have its own document, its own code or regulation, which will allow it to control and to fight plagiat. And and to see academic honesty in a university. 3 examples, such documents, and you can find them in the internet, and regulation and prevention of plagiarism and introduction of practice of decent quoting in Kiev Hill Academy.
The provisions on preventing plagiate and using of the quotations and the training educational process of Kiev Catholic University, and also the documents from Kiev Polytechnical University. These are the documents which will be developed by all the universities. Then these provisions will be introduced into the charters, and the university will be able to punish those who are copying, and such people are either to be fired from the university, so that such a person has big problems and could not find any other job. This is very serious thing. It concerns the quality of education, the quality of research, and sooner or later I hope that the quality of our universities, of our special councils will be higher and higher. That is the main message that I wanted to share with you. If you have any questions, I will be happy to provide answers. Do you have any questions, colleagues? And I would like, first of all, to ask you the one thing, the issue of internationalization of dissertations. And now the copies are sent to some foreign libraries, but mostly these are the libraries of the former Soviet republics. Here, the key thing is not to send the author reference somewhere, but also to have an online access. There is a problem of languages. Our dissertations are defended in Ukrainian language, but our colleagues are using usually English language. There is a language barrier, but there are colleagues who know each other in certain sectors, and online access is a key thing. The person who wants to find something will do it, and online access is a very serious preventer. I can give you some other examples. We are all the time considering the issues of awarding. We award teachers, researchers. This is an endless, a continuous process, and at one of the meetings of our collegium last year we had a proposal that before all these issues are submitted to the collegium, they should be submitted to the, so that they have online access, and then online access, I believe, is a key thing, because then people will see who is the candidate to get the award. Where did you have the most plagiarism? We had very bright presentations, multimedia presentations in medicine as well. You can imagine that all the visual materials were taken from internet, and they were pretending that these were their own, but many special councils have suffered because of that. One question, could you please tell what is the process? There should be some provision how to fight with plagiarism. When will there be a server to fight this problem? When can it become a realistic instrument? We cannot set a certain date. This is all about the quality of the university. We say that we have too many universities. If the university doesn't does something wrong, maybe we do not need the university. So the academic community of the university should pass the certain code or provision, and they should be willing to do that. They should put it on the website what talking about software, there's plenty of software, and that will help to find the plagiary. And then it could be introduced into the charter. The new law on the higher education doesn't have clear definition what you can dismiss the student for. And the previous version, for example, had the provision that a student can be dismissed only if he or she wants, or if he or she did not execute the educational plan. But there might be other problems related to plagiarism, and I worked at the university, and every year we would fire several students for that, and we were even firing the teachers. That was in Kiev Mogila Academy. If there are no such examples in other universities, that doesn't mean that they don't have plagiarism. That means that they are not paying attention to that. We don't want to be in a position that the ministry is forcing to do something, is saying do so or do not do so. We are encouraging, we are informing, but this order about mandatory publication of the text of dissertation, that is what should be done. We are making certain steps, and then it will be supported, I believe, because we live in the global world. If you are involved, if you are a brain picker, then you will not be accepted at some conference. Ryabchin Alexei, the MP of the parliament from Batkivshina, I work in the committee on energy savings, but the issues of education are of importance for me, because I am still working at the Donetsk University that moved to Vinnytsia, and we're helping all the universities which moved elsewhere. I support your thesis about fighting with plagiarism. When I saw this news and I saw that the dissertations will be put on the websites of the universities and there will be transparency, I applauded to this decision. But I believe that we need to strengthen the work fighting against students' plagiarism. And as a person who defended the dissertation in Ukraine and who studied abroad, I see this different. There's a big gap. And there are things that the ministry can recommend. If you do not want to push, but you can recommend some best practices. And there could be of two types of that. The first one is technical means, like talking about the Donetsk National University project, where the Renaissance Foundation is helping with the grants. We agreed that the computers which will be brought to the library for the Donetsk National University will have a software which will allow both the students and the students to check their works and discover the plagiarism. And also, I wouldn't say that there are too many programs, too many programs like that. I mean, software, there are 5 of them, and maybe the ministry should recommend certain programs which are not certified but recommended by the ministry to use at the universities. And also, in the West, the students, before they write master's thesis, they are instructed and they are taught how to use borrowings, what is plagiarism and what is just borrowing, because our scientific culture views of quotations is not well developed, and that's why we don't have so many foreign publications. We do not know how to use that, and we need maybe to invite some foreign lectures for that. And also, every student before the writing the thesis should write, I know what is plagiarism, I will not be using it. When you yourself sign it, this is not forcing, but this is like a self-control, and that's important, because that's academic environment, and I believe that all the people who work with in education will support you in your fighting plagiarism. Thank you. I would like to thank you for all your comments and proposals.
I completely support what you told, and probably will recommend applications just to inform. But I would like to I would like to add, it's important how it is organized. The studying process. One is how to call the genre when we give assignments, and when usually they rewrite. It is called paper in the West, and so the number of papers is limitless, and to write all the papers in the way you need, physically it's impossible. We know that parents help in a better case. And then there is no plagiat, but the more often they copy those texts from internet, and this is the worst way. So new ways of control of knowledge should be applied in the universities, and especially when they write papers. What is the difference between a paper and a referat? That is, they assess some article deeply, and they pay a lot of attention. They will make a presentation on that article, and then the student could assess one article from different sides. They would make a presentation. Still, students participate in that presentation. So very deep consideration. So more quality than quantity. So that's about a control of quality of knowledge, and according to the new law on higher education, and then we'll reduce hours in classes from 900 to 600, and so there should be new instruments to control knowledge, and also then we should need to control the training, and they should have their own system of control. We'll speak about that too. We have a joint project with the British Council, and in the UK there will be a training of members of the national agency to provide quality of higher education. So some categories of products and some categories of those people who in universities should provide the quality control. And every university should have its own quality control system. And so attention is shifted from the final product to the process, because if the process is controlled and if there is a quality control, then the end product will have quality. And if we speak about only a final product, we don't control the process. So there are many changes, many reforms will be in university life. You told that in one of the dissertations there were 185 pages borrowed text. What about compilation? Somebody takes from different sources some little parts, and they just reshape, compile, and show it as their own. Now there are companies, registered companies, and they hire academicians, and they ask them to write academic articles, and then they publish them in other names, and to write dissertations and scientific works. There is a criminal activity. It's not the issue of this is a question to police. When I was working in Kiev Mohil Academy, though I'm still teaching there, but we asked police, and we gave concrete telephones, and so telephone numbers of those who suggest offer such services. This criminal activity, and will continue. Speaking to police, I'll give the floor to my deputy on how to fight corruption. And as to the first question, there are different types of academic swindling or cheating. You call it compilation, but sometimes the texts are reshuffled prepared for results. So there are different types. There are such types about which we are not talking about yet, because, for example, so plagiat is also plagiat. We don't speak about that, and people can copy themselves and produce new publications as if new. Very briefly, you spoke about those companies that provide such services last summer. We asked police. We gave them the list of internet sites, and so we appealed to all the bodies. I was not surprised with the answer. They didn't want to work on that, because you could make controlled purchase of those resources, and then you can show losses, etc. You can pull that. So I have those answers from police, from prosecution, etc. They move it down from the top level to local department and a standard response. So there's a problem. So police doesn't like to work on such cases. Thank you. More questions? Very good topic to deal for journalists to take it. News work that you pay attention to one of the examples of corruption, that is a plagiat, but now at the same time there's an entrance campaign which took place, about facts of corruption, and for example that professors or representatives and selection commission, they took some gratitude from those entrants whom they were promised to include to free education list. How do you prevent that? And that, you know, if you know, you should inform police about that. Otherwise, if you don't, otherwise you are the one, you are an accomplice of the crime. If we know about such a place, if we have complaints, we inform the police. So I want to say that the Ministry of Education and Science doesn't have, is not an investigation body. We are not responsible for investigation, but we inform entrance universities and police about that. So we are a mediator here, and of course, the system that we create every year, it should also should not have room for other things, and but. There is nothing ideal. We understand this year what we have. This year we have this system of priorities during the entrance. It has very good recommendation. On one hand, acceptance commissions, it's easier for them to work. On the other hand, it's easier for entrance and parents. Those who are witnesses of some abuse inform not only the ministry but police. Because we should first of all we should speak to police right away. Any questions to the topic of the briefing?
Sergiy Kvit, Small Academy of Sciences editor. We know that plagiarism is formed in a corporate environment where there are such conditions. In the east of Ukraine, some teachers of separatist directional mentality. The people are involved just not in plagiarism but wrong translation, manipulation, playing with sources. Does the ministry plan to work with such people? These people are known and they're the threat to the Ukrainian society. Thank you. All I am talking about is our work in this direction against plagiarism and for academic honesty. Not just separatists who could be noticed, but those people who demonstrate themselves as big patriots. Ideologically, that's not connected to the psychology of a person who wants to steal something from another person. I wouldn't compare these things. Talking about the results of the work of our collegium, who we deprived in Donetsk University. There was a person, Artamonova, and she was well known because people were complaining for many years that while she was defending her thesis, she was stealing from different sources, and we eventually deprived her of the title, but we found out that she works in Donetsk in what they call the Department of Journalism. She's heading that department, but that was just by accident. She was the plagiarist, and but there are those people who are known as patriots. So the political context is not really very feasible here. And Donetsk University in Vinnytsia has held a very serious position. They are very serious institution, and but the material base is in Donetsk, and this Artamonov does not spoil the reputation of the whole university. Plagiarism is a problem of every person that calls herself a scientist, and that's the problem of this scientist. And the special council, but its topic of plagiarism is not limited just to dissertations. It's the works of students and some books and everything. I have a question. Yesterday it was informed that 22 Ukrainian universities received access to financing according to under the Erasmus program. What are these programs? Can you tell me again? 32 Ukrainian universities, together with their colleagues from Wrocław Polytechnical University. Maybe that's Erasmus Plus program. So that in previous years, and you know that this year we ratified our agreement on Horizon 2020, and that is the 7th framework program, and the 7th framework program funds the research in natural sciences, those where special equipment is required, and that Erasmus Plus is the Erasmus Campus. These are big European programs. Our universities participated in these programs. There's nothing new for us. There are more opportunities to get access. We used to win such grants in the past, and we will continue to win the grants, but we need to encourage the universities to participate more. That would mean contacts with colleagues, then the dissertations are defended when everyone knows everyone, and also that means access to large monetary resources. 83 billion is the total fund, and this is just one of the European programs, and there will be many more of them. If you have no more questions, then thank you.